Hi guys, welcome back to Welcome Home Custom. Today we are going to learn how to assemble our lighthouse at night. Let's get started. Okay, let's go ahead and jump right into the files and review everything that is included in this file set. So I am going to open up the SVG folder, and within the SVG folder, we are going to have no kerf and kerf 0015. What this is your two cut by color file options. The no kerf means that I have not done any sort of adjustment for kerf on these files. They might fit a little bit more loose. This is for someone that's a little bit more of an advanced user and knows how to add their own kerf adjustment. Kerf 0015, I have added a 0.0015 inch offset to every piece. And if we go into these files, you will see that there is scored, and then there are some that do not say scored. The big difference with that is the ones that are scored. Let's go ahead and open this one up. So first thing we're gonna do, we are checking our 1x1 inch square, and you will notice that there are score lines on top of the piece and the number is to the side. So the scored pieces are cut with the good side face up in your laser, and you can ignore this number if you wish or delete it, but you'll want to write it on the back of the piece so you don't lose track. I'll go ahead and remove this, and let's go ahead and open the other cherry file. So for this, the numbers are on the back of the pieces, and you're going to want to put your good side face down in your laser, your bad side face up, and we are scoring the number on the back of the pieces. This is just to make it a lot easier for you guys to assemble the piece once everything is cut. If it's scored, you put the good side face up in your laser. If it is not scored, you put the good side face down in your laser. You're going to want to go through and cut every single one of these pieces. Now, I do recommend that while you go through this, anything that's got the color noted, so we've got dark blue, we've got medium blue, we have medium dark blue, you're going to want to sort each one of these on their own piece of tape, and you can then easily take these down to your workshop or wherever you spray paint, and you'll already have them sorted out by color so that you know what you need to paint. Jumping back over to the files real quick, we also have the DIY file. This file is a little bit smaller in size. This one, because there is scoring detail, you are going to want to cut it with the good side face up for both your backer and your design layer. So we do have the stand as well. This is so that it can sit up on a table on its own. You will notice all these numbers at the end of the file. These correlate to the size of the slot in inches. 0.170 is 0.170 inches. That's the size of the slot. Make sure to use your material measurement tool to find your perfect fit and select the correct slot. Now, something to keep in mind, if I open one of these up, the tab is double the size of the slot width. And the reason for that is it's going to actually go through both of the stand pieces. There's one stand piece on the backer file, and then there's one stand piece on the design file. Another thing that I did with this is on the backer piece, you can choose to score the pink lines. This is so that if you wanted to make it a solid piece, you could. Or you can choose to cut this out and have the piece see-through in the sky. Last, we have the separated master and the shared line master. Separated master is for someone that wants to resize the entire piece, and then they will need to sort out their own pieces themselves and add their own kerf. This is a more advanced option. You cannot size this smaller. The pieces will be way too small. And then you've got shared line master. This, all of the lines are shared, so you don't go over any of the lines more than once. It is a straight cut. You could, if you wish, score all of this on the inside and change your line on the outside and make this a backer, which you will see that I am using as an example for when I assemble the piece. So let's go ahead and jump over to the assembly and walk through how to make all of that work. So you can see here, I went ahead and scored my backer like I had mentioned. I put all of the numbers on this backer along with the lines, but you don't have to do that. I have assembled many quilts with just a blank backer. Grab your color planner and we will start placing our pieces on the board, starting with one and working our way up. I do recommend that you have your pieces already sorted by number, 1 through 10, 11 through 20, 21 through 30, etc. I'm going to go ahead and set down my quilt frame template. This is a free file available in the super fun freebie section on my website. Now I'm going to start placing all of my pieces. Yes, there are a lot of pieces in this quilt, but I will tell you that it is worth it. As I'm going through, I'm only placing my larger pieces. Anything that's smaller than, let's say, 1/4 inch, I am not placing those down. I am just getting the bulky pieces put down first and then setting aside all of the small pieces. This will make it easier for you once you get towards the end, because you'll find that the little pieces, you'll realize that they all pretty much fit inside the rail of either in front of the house or the lighthouse. Now it's time to move on to taping. I'm taping the template, frame template, pulling it together kind of tight, and then I'm going to tape the lighthouse itself. Now I wasn't sure how the metallic would react with the tape, so I'm kind of avoiding that metallic paint as I work through it, but there's plenty of other spots that I can adhere the tape, so I'm not too concerned. I'm just working through, pulling the pieces tight, and honestly, the quilt frame really did a lot of that work for me, so it's made it pretty easy. So one thing I did mess up here, and I wasn't really thinking, I need to take all of the quilt frame off. So when you are taping down your quilt, make sure that you don't overlap the tape from your quilt frame onto the quilt itself, because you really want to be able to remove the quilt frame before we flip and glue. So now I'm placing a backer on top of my quilt, and I am basically making a sandwich between my backer, my pieces, and then this scrap piece of MDF on top. I am going to grab the whole thing. I'm going to slide it and flip it over, exposing the back of my quilt and allowing me to add glue straight to my backer. I'm using Titebond 3 along with a silicone scraper that has some teeth on it, and I am going to just evenly spread out the glue, trying to make sure that I hit all of the backer and not leaving any of the backer exposed or bare. Next, we are going to place the glued up backer straight back onto the quilt itself, and then we are going to flip the whole thing back over so that the quilt pieces are again on top and the backer is on the bottom. Next, we will want to feel around on the edges, make sure that the quilt is aligned onto the backer and that nothing is hanging over in a weird way. You really want the quilt to be completely centered. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove my tape so that I can make sure that nothing funky happened. And then we are going to grab our sandbags and weigh it down as it dries. So fast forward about an hour and I'm going to remove the sandbags and inspect the Lighthouse, and it looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and jump over to the DIY real quick. I want to show you guys how I would glue this up. Okay, so as you can see, I have already painted my DIY. I used the same blues that I used for the large lighthouse. What we're going to do is we're going to grab a board that is similar in size. We don't really need to tape it because it's all self-contained with the stained glass design. We're going to place the board on top and we are going to flip and expose the back of our design side and the front of our backer. So I'm working fairly quickly because I wanted to have everything ready for the reveal, and you can see that my piece is stuck to my gold, and that was because I did not let my gold completely dry. This should not happen when you are doing your own DIY. So I sprayed all of the backer, or at least the top of the backer, gold, and I left the windows and the stars empty, and so that you could see the gold shine through. Now, similar to the Showstopper, we are going to add glue straight to the backer. We are going to use our silicone scraper tool again to smooth everything out. We are going to avoid any of those areas of gold that we want to shine through. So we are going to avoid the windows, we are going to avoid the stars, and we are going to apply glue everywhere else. Now, if you wanted to use 3M, you totally could. I would recommend applying it to the design board and not the backer. If you apply it to the backer, then your windows will have 3M on it and it won't work. Now for the areas that I didn't get glue really spread out very well, I can go back and add glue to those pieces specifically and stick them back in. That way I'm not spreading glue into the gold areas and I'm keeping everything somewhat nice and tidy. Now I just like to use my green tape or my blue tape to remove those pieces. That's the easiest way to just grab the piece, pull it out, and then place it back in after I've added glue. And we will finish it off by again weighing it down with a sandbag and allowing all of the glue to dry. All right, guys, that's it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and check out more tutorials just like this. Thanks so much.